Hi guys, and welcome back to Almost a Cinephile. My name is Becca and today we are going to be reviewing Speak No Evil. So this review is probably going to contain a few spoilers. I will do my absolute best to warn you before I say something. But I went into this film over the weekend and saw it completely blind. I only saw trailers, so I wasn't sure what it was going to be about, but I got a good idea from the trailer. I do think they gave away a lot of the storyline now that I've actually seen it, which is really frustrating. But this is the Blumhouse 2024 remake of the original Speak No Evil from 2022, which I believe was a Danish film. So as I said, I did know nothing about this film. I haven't seen the original movie. I have heard reviews of that say it is a lot more bleaker compared to this version of Speak No Evil, more of a horror film, whereas Speak No Evil 2024 is a lot more kind of thriller vibes instead. For me, I thoroughly agree that it felt more like a thriller than a horror film. I feel like the first act was incredibly uncomfortable, and that's where it really was its strongest in the film. Like the whole film as a whole, I think was really good. However, I do think that first half was stronger purely because of the absolute discomfort this film made you feel. So it starts off with two couples. You have James McAvoy and I believe Aisling Franciosi. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong. And they are a couple with their child Ant, played by Dan Howe. And then you have this other couple who are much more traditional, proper, polite. Whereas you've got James McAvoy's family are very off the wall and a little bit uncouth. Slightly more interesting as a whole, and that's what entices the father of the other family, played by Scoot McNairy, and he latches on to Paddy, which is James McAvoy's character, and they kind of form a bit of a I would say more like a bromance. Like he's quite infatuated with this man, and not in a very romantic way, but more so in like I kind of want to be him. He exudes confidence and lures him in to his way of thinking and his wavelength, and I feel like that's kind of the hook that draws this other family in. And as the film goes on, these two families the relationship between the two just starts to get ever so slightly more uncomfortable. Weird things start to happen, inexcusable things, and you're thinking as a watcher, like, why haven't you just like left, firstly to choose to stay with a couple that you only met on holiday, and then stay over at their house once you get back from holiday, even though you only met them on holiday. And that you know, that's not enough in my opinion to want to stay with somebody after only knowing them for a few days abroad. But that happened as well, and you are, for the first half, I think for the majority of the film, you are screaming at this family. I do give credit to the wife, played by Mackenzie Davis. She does start to see quicker than the husband does. She's almost like playing a part of the audience, where we are all sitting there and like begging her, please say something, push this man, push your husband into leaving. Why are you still here? I have watched Hereditary, and one of the biggest like things I love about that film is just how uncomfortable and slow and just drawn out and painful that film really is. This exudes a little bit of that, and I loved it. There was a few things that just made you absolutely gasp. We actually had a few laughs within the audience as well. There were a few people laughing because there were moments where they were so uncomfortable and out of character for us normally, that you would it almost became quite amusing. There's a few scenes where Paddy, which is James McAvoy's character, is singing in the car to like an Atomic Kitten song, and it's just so it's awkward as fuck, and it made, and then you can't do anything but laugh because there's nothing else you can do. And this family are like sticking by staying because of the politeness, and it's the right thing to do, and they don't want to hurt this other family's feelings. Things start to get more and more twisted and uglier, and a few twists come out as well to do with the children. I must admit, I did see the twist coming with Ant just before they revealed it. I feel like that became quite obvious as we were going along. And he can't talk because he has a small tongue. but there's more nefarious and insidious things going on when it comes to that. It really is up to Mackenzie Davis to save the day, and even her daughter, who was played by Alex West-Lefter, she played the little girl called Agnes, and she was more smarter and switched on than her dad. And that's a child, and it was just so annoying. There was also a few scenes with this damn bunny rabbit that the little girl has to have. It's kind of like a support animal. It's a cuddly toy. Otherwise she starts to scratch herself and gets quite anxious. And whilst I absolutely feel for her, I was like, my God, if they have to turn around and keep getting this damn rabbit because they keep forgetting to freaking pick up the rabbit. Yeah. It just made you feel like a little bit panicky the whole time, which I really, really love. I love when a film gives you a very physical reaction. I don't think everybody kind of likes that style, but I really do. I love having that physical, like, oh my God, like I actually can't contain myself here. I'm feeling really, really nervous for these guys. So the best things about this film were wrapped up in both James McAvoy and Aisling Franciosi's characters. They were so fantastic together. They really played off of one another. And I don't know why James McAvoy doesn't do more characters like this. He is spectacular at playing unhinged, creepy, huge hench, could switch in a second kind of people. I know he was in Split, and he played a really, really great character in M. Night Shyamalan's yeah. And he played a really, really good character in M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable series as well, which I really, really love. He was fantastic in that, and I feel like he was similar in character style and also in like beefiness, but it was more unhinged because you just couldn't work out which way this guy was going. His personality, his mood swings were all over the show. He creeps you out to shit. It's horrible. Yeah, he absolutely deserves so much more for this role. Plus, also, I hope he gets to do more like this because he's very, very good at it. I also loved the character of Kira, who plays his wife. She is very, very uncomfortable herself. She does a really, really good job of finding a very fine balance. You feel sorry for her a lot of the time, and I can see why the other family kept kind of being lured back by this creepy family, because she is the tether that makes them keep doing that. She really plays on emotion and feeds off of her own misfortunes, and you get lured in by that, and it's really, really good. She's very, very good in it as well. So the points that I wasn't as keen on were mainly actually to do with the third act. I feel like it could have done with a lot more violence. I feel like it was very tame for a 15. You see him being slashed across the face, but the blood kind of stopped after a little while, and it was quite a deep cut. At one point, Mackenzie Davis's character throws acid in his face, but she doesn't just throw it, she is squirting it with pressure out of the bottle over and over and over again, and there were burns on his face. And at one point his eye did go red, but then it cut to him again and his eyes were fine. And I feel like if you were to have that much acid thrown in your face, your eyelids would probably have melted onto your eyes. I don't know how he didn't get blinded by it or a bit maimed by it, but he continued to be able to see, and he just pushed through it after washing some of it off. I just don't think that was as realistic as it could have been, and I think they could have really played up on that and really made it quite like intense and gross and gnarly. And I'm not someone that likes a lot of gore, but I think they could have just leaned into it just a little bit more. The house invasion part was really, really good, but again, there were just moments where you just think like, I don't get how you wouldn't make better decisions. Like their car was the tire was deflated, and then I think they locked the gate so they couldn't drive through, and you would just ram that gate down. You really would. You'd get out, you'd do anything, you'd run. Why wouldn't you? Like, dude, you've got legs, anything. So there were little points I think it could have done better on and kept that intense uncomfortableness throughout the whole thing. But in the end, you just want them to just like, come on, just get on with it. Like there's anything in the house, pick anything. And she goes and picks like a letter opener, and you're like, dude, this guy is like house is full of trinkets and all sorts of things. There must be something more you can do. So those points got a little bit frustrating towards the end, especially the main part of the ending, which I won't spoil, to do with the dad on the nice side of the family, not really fulfilling his role as, you know, the man of the house, kind of looking after the family kind of thing. He does fall very flat on his face at the end still. Overall, I really love this film. I absolutely would recommend it, and I would totally watch it again. I think it's a really good rewatchable film, and I really love James McAvoy. He stole the show in this film completely for me. And again, that first half of the film really draws you right in. It does lack a little bit towards the end. It kind of drops off, but it's enjoyable. It's still really fun if you like that kind of thing. But I absolutely do want to give the 2022 original film a watch as well. I've heard it's a lot more bleak. I've also heard the first half of the films are very similar, but then the endings to both films are incredibly different. So that's quite interesting. I'd love to see the very differences that they are. I watched Cody Leach's review, and he recommends, you know, it doesn't matter which one you see and when. They're both the same and then very different at the same time, so they're both their own thing kind of thing, if that makes sense. So I will definitely be watching the 2022 remake and giving that a go and seeing how it compares. But yeah, I really liked this film, and I would 100% recommend it. I think it was really fun and a really good time. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you've seen Speak No Evil, please let me know down in the comments and give me your thoughts and feelings about how you felt about it. Did you like it? Did you think that the original was better? How do you feel? Do you think I should watch the original? Let me know down below. And if you love this video, please give it a thumbs up, and also you can subscribe below as well. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Bye.